This is Lewis Hart from Into Boxing. Delighted today to be joined by the Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher. We're here at the Katie Taylor versus Carabao press conference. How are we doing, mate?
Good, thanks, Lewis. How are you, mate? All good?
I'm doing good. We're back in Wembley, we're back in London. How's that feel to, be slightly closer to home?
Brilliant, mate. It feels like a home away from home now. I've had a couple of fights here now. This is my second one. I've stayed in the hotels here before when I fought at Ali Pali, so feeling really good, mate. Looking forward to it.
Have you got many? How many supporters are coming out for this one?
About 2,000, which is brilliant, considering the economic times we're in, people struggling for money and stuff. Unbelievable. I'm so grateful to have the support I've got, and it's just great. I think this time last year, done about 1,400 tickets at the O2, so we're building on that every year. We're going to get bigger and bigger, hopefully.
Just building more and more support. Like I said, even in Sheffield, you had so many people, coming out there for you. It was like an away day there.
Oh, it's brilliant up in Sheffield. I really enjoyed it, and the support just makes it all worthwhile. When people want to come out and travel that far, 4 hours up north, it just means the world to me. So every time I fight for them people as well.
I'm sure it was all the better for that, career best knockout.
Yeah, it was brilliant. That was a great knockout. He came and had a go as well, that bloke, Reisinger, and now I've got a similar sort of bloke, a bit bigger, a bit sturdier. So hopefully we can do the same thing.
How do you deal with like I said, you're early in your pro career and you have so many people that come out and support you. You have this much support throughout school, and growing up, was you always the popular kid?
No, I wouldn't say I was a popular kid. I think we've got a big family. I've always tried to involve myself in everything at school, football, rugby, and I've got a great group of mates and stuff. So listen, people want to come out and support. When we're from in Essex, people come out and support you. When you're from Romford, the whole of Romford's going to be behind you. But it's not just that, it's Exeter Uni where I went as well. There's people up north. We've got fans in Australia and in Canada, in New Zealand. So it is global, it's really good. It's only small pockets, but hopefully then people can keep growing it because it's great to have the support.
I live in Kent, so there's a little bit of a rivalry there with Essex. So we don't go north, mate. We don't go north. But do you ever feel like? How do you deal with the pressure of having that much support? And do you feel like there's weight on your shoulders in a way sometimes to perform?
I'd be lying if I said it ain't more pressure. But there isn't more pressure because there definitely is. I felt the pressure at Ali Pali. I felt the pressure at the O2. You feel it at Sheffield. You feel it every time. But it's how you adapt and how you react to that. And me doing it at this early stage of my career is only going to pay dividends later on when we fight for them titles.
Is there anything that you do to deal with that? And like you said, it's how you deal with it. How do you deal with it?
All I've got to think is it's me in a ring with another bloke. It don't matter if there's 10,000 people watching, 2,000 or no one. Do you know what I mean? I've just got to do my job. Detach myself from the outside noise, listen to my trainer, and you just got to do your job and execute.
People always talk about the heavyweight division, that's where the money's at, but even domestically, look at people like yourself, like I said, Fabio Wardley, Solomon Dakers, especially at Matchroom, you've got a great stable of heavyweights there, all young and upcoming.
Such a good mix at the minute, and you've got Fabio Wardley, as you said, Solomon Dakers, you've got other guys coming through, you've got Guido Vianello, another stablemate, like a managerial stablemate of mine. Some great names out there, and eventually you want to get into that mix. I know what level I'm at and where I've got to get to, but there's a great mix of heavyweights out there, and that's great for the sport.
You talk about your stable. It must be so good, and I always use the term that iron sharpens iron, especially with a great coach like Mark Tibbs, to train with so many good people who have been there and done it, who are achieving, you're all coming up together. It must be brilliant to have a gym like that and an environment like that.
That's what I need, people like Mark Tibbs, Jimmy Tibbs around me who've been there and done it, because I haven't been there and done it. I'm still learning as I go, but Jimmy Tibbs especially, he's seen it all. So to have his advice, little bits of information he'll give me, brilliant.
Is it hard not to get carried away though? Like I said, when you're getting 1,500 fans, 2,000 fans coming there and watching you, you're loved by everyone. Everyone when you see Johnny Fisher on a card, you all get excited. Is it hard not to almost get carried away like that?
That's the challenge. You don't want to believe your own hype. You don't want to let it get to your head, because I know it's not a lot of people, but it's still 2,000 people you put in a room. It's a lot of people, and I've got a lot of support, but I always check myself every night. I say I'm still a beginner, I'm still a novice. I know what position I'm in, and that's great. I've got my dad around me, my trainers, my managers. They'll keep me all grounded and they'll progress me as I need to, because it could be very easy for me to get carried away and act all flash and arrogant, but that's just not the way I am.
Lastly, obviously another domestic dust-up on the world level of heavyweight stages, Tyson Fury versus Fury Chisora, the trilogy. What do you make of that fight as a contest, and have you watched the first two fights?
I've watched the first two fights, but them first two fights were how long ago? 5, 6, 7 years ago. Still going to watch it. I'm still going to be interested to see what happens. I think Fury Chisora is a great personality. He's a legend of British boxing. He will never be forgotten. I do think Tyson Fury is the out-and-out favourite. But I just feel like Derek will bring some excitement. He always does. It's still a fight that people, whether they're moaning about it or not, they're still going to watch it.
Johnny, really appreciate your time. Thank you, mate, and best of luck for Saturday. Cheers, mate. Thank you.